Welcome to, let me turn on my timer. Welcome to martini time. We ate all the turkey, so all I have is a chicken. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Today was, well actually, today is the second day after Thanksgiving. I lost a day. Okay, so yesterday was the day after Thanksgiving. Today is the second day, and I'm still coming down off of the high. You know, it's an amazing, of course we have 26 people come for our, we're kind of like the home tree. Oh, that's good. I just had some salty smoked ham. Ooh, this was good. You know, we had a friend of ours from New York once, and we had this Virginia smoked ham, and he ate it. He said, "Oh, something's wrong. This ham's too salty." He'd never had Virginia smoked ham before. Anyway, now while Thanksgiving means many things to many people, and we all should find something that we can give thanks for. You know, seeing somebody, having some family come home, having reconciliation, having everything go perfectly, whatever. Something in there you got to be thankful for. And it should be a surprise, I think. You know, there's the traditional, oh, I'm thankful for this and all that traditional stuff. No, I'm talking about a surprise thankfulness. And so I wrote about this. My thankfulness was discovering the better game of my marriage. Now, every marriage, every relationship, everything is relationship. Let's put it that way. Nothing stands alone. You are relationship with something. It starts out your relationship with the whole world. And then you start breaking that down, and your relationship with this and that, and even over this martini here. I'm in a relationship with the martini. Well, the martini does not stand alone. It's in relationship with me, so it has meaning by this relationship. If you picked up this martini, it might have a different meaning, a different story. So, but the point is, human relationships are governed by games, rituals. Otherwise, there's no, you know, what makes a relationship? It's a pattern. It's a dance. You know, you go into a relationship, marriage or friendship or whatever, family members and everything. That couple, that relationship is going to take a form. It's not going to be an unknown. Otherwise, it would be like Alzheimer's. If you have Alzheimer's, you don't see relationships. You don't. It's just this. You know, it's all just this, and there's no relationship to it. Relationship is carried by memory. So relationship has a memory or a pattern that is carried forth in time. So we get to know our partners because of the memory of that partner and the relationship and the patterns that is carried forth in time. So when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to start fresh like you just met them for the first time. See, like we always look back to the first time I saw her. You know, she was the light of my eye, and so forth, you know. I knew he was the one. And soon as that connection happens, you start a memory of the relationship and the patterns, you see. And when you get up in the morning, you start from the memory that you had yesterday, and you add to it, you see. But normally we just keep adding to the memory, the pattern, and it gets more rigid. As we're first married, for instance, speaking of marriage, when you're first married, you're fresh and you're creating new patterns and new rituals and new things you like to do and so forth. And then after a while, they begin to solidify. And pretty much you're just yesterday happening again today. You see, very little new happens. But in my marriage, I'm fortunate in that I'm conscious of the pain of it. And the pain of it makes me want to see the pattern of the pain. What's causing the pain? Now, Thanksgiving has just been a great thing for me because And we've been doing it here for, I don't know, forever, it seems like, because this has been the home tree. You know, all this, my wife's big family comes here, and they, you know, keep multiplying, and now the babies are coming that used to be babies, that used to be, you know what I mean. So it gets to be big. And they all come here to the home tree. And because this is the home tree, we set up the living room, all that, and for the family to come in, and they bring food, so we don't have to cook it all. But they all come in on Thanksgiving morning and bring the food, and it's a big thing. But in the preparation, and I prepare for this by expecting the suffering, you know, and I make jokes about it. I make jokes about the stress, because with my wife and me, and my wife, she was the only person in Longwood to get an Oscar for stage management, and best acting. And then when she was a teacher in high school, she was a director. So she is a director, stage manager, and actress. But these two are important, directing and stage management, and she's good at it. Right? So the house is a set, and the audience is coming, you see. You can see the set for stress here, because one of the mantras that you live by in a small town is, what will people think? So you want to have family coming, and not the, oh, look, they didn't have that, you know, oh, that's a, it's kind of like being a critic of a play. You don't want to have your play criticized for its faults, you see. So that's very strong. And so then I come into the play, you see. Here we go, you see. So it starts out, so in the living room, you know, we have to set up maybe 2 extra tables, and then we have to get them ranged just right. We have to get the chairs. Every year it's the same thing, and every year it's the same fight. Every year there's a conflict of, I called it the better game. I can do it better. No, 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 I can do it better. I'm going to do it. Okay, we'll do it your way. So I really discussed, Thanksgiving, for us anyway, because of the, Thanksgiving is like the warm water of the Atlantic. And if there's a little whirlpool, it's going to grow into a hurricane. You see what I mean? When there's added stress, and we all know this, when there's a situation where we have more stress, the little games we play get exaggerated and we blow up. You see, where during the week, we laugh it off, and it's kind of low key. But when there's stress, you see, the company's coming, you know, it can magnify, you know. And so it always happens on Thursday morning in setting up the kitchen, setting up the house, and they're cooking the food, and the sister comes, and they're going, and I'm setting up, and I want to do it myself. And they keep telling me how to do it. So there's a conflict there between the better game. And so I really, but this time that we got it, there was a better game going on, setting up, and we eventually got it done. Even had a friend come over to help be on my better side. But the other better side won. So we set it up correctly and went on. But all the time, I was feeling this, the stress and the irritation and the tension of the game. You see, these games in marriage have a tension in them that is very recognizable. It's almost like, you know, I mean, it's a Groundhog Day. When you're getting to these little games we play, there's a little Buddha smile behind it that knows what's going on, but you just don't want to listen to it. You want to get out there and fight the game. You want to beat the game. Because I'm going to beat the game this time, you see. So the better game is played in all kinds of situations, particularly in marriages. And it has definite rules to it, triggers to it, and basically and I think it's a when you get into a particular situation, the game is activated when both partners want to lead. You know, like Fred and Ginger Rogers. Now, when you see Fred and Ginger Rogers dancing, neither one of them is leading. They're in sync. They move together. He's not telling her what to do. She's not telling him what to do. They rise together. That's why we love to watch it. Perfection. Perfection is when the pairs of opposites, the relationship, rises together as one and moves together. And this is why we love art, sports. All of these performances are basically about the perfection of relationship that's in sync, that's in harmony. You know, even one person, if you're a juggler, you're in sync with your juggles. You see, you can't do anything wrong. You say, well, how does he do that? You see. So there's the goal of being in sync cannot be reached when the two dance partners are doing a tug-of-war on who's going to lead. You particularly with male-female, husband and wife relationships, you get into this conflict. And most marriages divide control. The house, the mother, the wife is the leader inside the house, the man is the leader outside the house. So she's got the in, he's got the out. But if there are any areas where these overlap, you're going to have a little tension, you see. And it's particularly hard for retired men. Particularly difficult for men who retire because their domain, the outside world, has been taken away. And now they're in the wife's domain. And he needs to reestablish his center. How can he do that? By taking away his wife's center. You see what I mean? This becomes a little bit like the sexual aggression that we're playing around with in our society right now. It's popping up everywhere. What is that? Sexual aggression is that the male, feeling his loss of power and center, sets up a game where he takes it from a female. He sets it up so she's trapped and he can get her power, you see. And when you leave the other person helpless, unable to choose, you got the power. You choose, you see. Who's got the choice? That's the game right there. Who can choose when you're in a relationship? You know, you find all examples of this, and I repeat this, but I have all these martini glasses. I give them away, and a couple comes in, and I like them. I say, oh, "Come on, give you a martini glass," and they all look alike. The woman invariably will, "Oh, I like that," and she'll pick that, and the man's kind of like, they all look alike. You can't choose. And he's kind of like, oh, wow, you know, and the wife recognizing his discomfort. Well, how about this one, honey? Oh, thank you. That's just what I wanted, you see. So a lot of relationships fall into that who chooses for me. My father had a stroke. He was the captain. He was the chooser. He chose everything. You know, so he was a naval captain. So at home, he was a captain. And the wife, my mother, she was executive officer, but she deferred to the captain. The captain wants this, the captain wants that. Don't get the captain mad. You know, tread quietly. If you got mad, well, you know, Captain, he was a little tired today. You know, so, you know what I mean? But anyway, so he has a stroke. Left him healthy, but it stroked out his ability to choose. And he lost a lot of his memory. I mean, he could remember a few things, but not much. But basically, he lost the ability to choose. So it was very strange. It was kind of like having somebody who was just being here. You take him out, you go fine, get in the back, Gus will be in the back, whatever, you know. Go to a restaurant, put the menu there. What would you like? You choose. Can't choose, you see. So anyway, he was very nice to be with then. So, but the point is, what we're exploring here is the conflict of choice. And all marriages have to work this out. What do you want? Well, what do you want? And this frustrates women. They want you want potatoes or you want carrots? Oh, what do you want? Or, the game I play all the time is the ambiguous list, or the ambiguous command, where the wife says, "Well, would you like potatoes? Would you like some potatoes?" And I'll say, "Yes, potatoes." And then she'll say, "But you could have some carrots." And I'll go, "Well, now I got to choose carrots or potatoes. Which one does she want?" Why'd she bring up carrots? Do you want carrots? No. What do you want? And so then, I can feel this little wah 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 wah. When you feel this little wah 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 going, it's a feedback loop. It's when you can't choose, when you're not certain, when you're conflicted, when you're should I choose or not choose, this, that. And as soon as we get caught in that, as soon as we get caught in, can't choose this or that, we're kind of like in a labyrinth, and we usually ask for some authority or tech support who can choose for us. You see. Well, you choose. Because I can't, I'm conflicted, you see. So when we're put in an ambiguous double bind, where we feel like we lose no matter what we choose, we lose our power. We lose our center. Somebody else is going to choose. And a lot of times, it's when we're in these situations where we're in a power conflict, if the other partner can put you into a double bind, they get to choose, they get the power. This is what politics is all about. Politics, the art of politics, is to put your opponent into a double bind where whatever they say defeats them. And so you naturally have the power. It shifts to you. Trump won because of that. He was an expert performer who was able to put his opponents off guard, off center, like the bullfighter. He puts the bull off center by waving the cape over an empty space. So the bull charges the wrong thing. The bull never charges the matador, he charges the cape. The matador is skillfully holding the cape, so you charge that, you idiot. You charge that, you're off center. The matador wins. So anyway, I don't want to get off into Trump, but I'm just investigating this. So it's really important to start looking at your games in your marriage, your better games, and start being curious about the rules of the game. What's going on here? And you have to say, I don't know. I want to know why I keep suffering, why I keep hurting other people in these games, why I keep hurting myself. You see, we have to really be curious about that, and we have to really not know. Because if I know, I'm still playing the game. I got the power because I know. You're playing the game. I see that. You see what I mean? That's still playing the game of power. When you give up what you know and you're curious about knowing what you don't know, that is a turning point. And now your marriage and your relationships becomes very, very interesting because you're like Sherlock. You want to connect the dots to see what the hell the rules are here. Because when you see the rules, you don't play the game and everything changes. It takes two people to play a better game. And if both are unconscious to the rules, neither can stop. And it does accelerate. And then after it's over, we'll do better, won't do that, hug, kiss, make up sex, whatever. But it comes around again because it's compulsive. The situations are right, boom, the game is going to pick up. We see this in marriages all the time. People come, you go to their house, everything's fine. Next thing you know, they're in some kind of a snit. And then because you're from the outside, you notice that it's a repetitious snit. They repeat it. But try to mess with it and they'll smack you. Try to interfere with it, try to tell them what they're doing, you're going to get smacked. They'll both turn on you. You see. We like playing our games. There's a secret investment in our games. There's always a secret investment, a secret pleasure. A secret pleasure. The little Buddha in the background who's smiling because he knows what your game is, you see. And you don't want to know what it is. But if you really want to know, you're going to have to look and catch yourself with your hand in the cookie jar. That's where you liberate yourself from the game. You catch yourself playing the game. So there's two of you now. There is you who plays the game. I'm better than you. No, you're better than me. I'm better than you. Smack, 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 you see. There's that you. There's the game you. But what awakens then is the Buddha mind, the Zen mind. The Zen mind awakens, and now he is kind of like you're in the audience watching the players battle each other, you see. You're in two places at once. You're in the game, getting angry, but at the same time, you're to the side of the game, and you know it's a game. There's a little smile, you see. And that little smile is watching the game, not judging, not finding fault. It's just connecting dots. It's connecting dots. And you're playing the game. At the same time, there's an awareness that's connecting the dots. And at some point, you will have connected enough dots where there's a snap and you see the whole damn thing. It's like suddenly the lights come on in a room where you've only been working with a flashlight. And you just see parts of the room and you're trying to connect the dots. Wait a minute, there's a chair there, and now was there a chair over there? Oh, yeah, there was a chair there. You're trying to put the room together, one dot at a time, you see. That's the way our consciousness works. Reality is a totality that's all interconnected, but we see it in pieces and little games, and we don't see the totality. But we can see the totality from the Zen mind that is connecting dots from outside of your consciousness. Consciousness isn't connecting dots. Consciousness is playing the game. So the Zen mind is because it's curious. My bell rang. I got to turn my volume up. But so the Zen mind is curious, like a Sherlock. I want to connect the dots to find out who's doing it. And when you connect the dots, you find out you're doing it. And when you realize you're doing it, you stop doing it. It's so simple. Seeing that you're doing it stops doing it. You don't have to, should I stop or not? No. Seeing is an action that stops the game. And the game may come back and again, like my Thanksgiving morning game. But this Thanksgiving, I really saw the game. Snap, the whole room, the whole game, you see. And it's kind of like, the knife fight that people get strapped this arm together and you got a knife here. So you got your partner, you're strapped to them, and each one's trying to stick the other. But you're strapped together. So the game is, the totality is that you are one, you and the partner are reflections of each other. So whatever you do to her, you're doing to yourself. Because you are perfect reflections of each other, and you're strapped together, and you're trying to be the one who chooses, the one who has the center. I'm up, you're down, you see. But the relationship rises together. It's always rising together, you see. But each one has the illusion that they can become the upside and push the other one down and be the chooser and be in control and restore the center. So each one's trying to restore the center, the feeling that I've lost the center, by putting the other center down, you see. And now we're back to politics. But anyway, thanks for dropping in. Find your better game.